It's your girl Tammy with today's encouraging word. Thanks for joining me this Friday. If this is your first time joining, my name is Tammy. This is a Christian based channel to just give an encouraging word on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to increase your faith and your walk with God. So, if you were with me on Wednesday, like I said, we are going to start a new topic. We're going to be talking about Proverbs 31, and not just Proverbs 31 woman, but the whole chapter of Proverbs 31 from 1 all the way down, because this chapter is actually split up into two sections. You have that first section that's actually talking, it's a mother talking to a son, letting him know that this is how a king should be. This is how a king should act. This is how a king should carry himself and how he shouldn't carry himself. And then the next section goes down to say, and this is the kind of woman that you're going to want to look for. This is the kind of wife, the kind of character that you want to see in the wife that you obtain. So we're going to actually look at both sections and not just the bottom part that we tend to focus on all the time. We're going to read the whole thing. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm actually going to be reading this from the Passion Translation. I love it in the Passion Translation because it just breaks it down so nicely and also gives you more information as you go from verse to verse to actually see what the meanings, the Hebrew meanings are, because of course English and Hebrew, sometimes those they don't have words that will actually match each other. So one might mean, it might say one thing in English, but in the Hebrew it may actually mean something else. So we'll go ahead and get started. Proverbs 31, starting at verse 1. It says, King Lemuel's royal words of wisdom. These are the inspired words my mother taught me. So, of course, some people will correlate this to King Lemuel being actually Solomon. And so, of course, the mother speaking would be Bathsheba. But nonetheless, it is a king, and you have the mother teaching him wisdom. It says, Listen, my dear son, son of my womb. You are the answer to my prayers, my son. So keep yourself sexually pure from the promiscuous, wayward woman. Don't waste your strength of your anointing on those who ruin kings. You'll live to regret it. For you are a king, Lemuel, and it's never fitting for a king to be drunk on wine or for rulers to crave alcohol. For when they drink, they forget justice and they ignore the rights of those in need, those who depend on them for leadership. So I'm just going to stop right there. So as you can see, she's just kind of, this mother is trying to give her son, the king, wisdom to say, hey, this is how you want to keep yourself. You want to keep yourself away from a promiscuous woman. You don't want to waste your anointing and your strength and your energy on someone who will come to you and bring you down to ruin, because you're going to live to regret that. You might have good times and it may feel right or it may seem right, but that's going to bring you to ruin. So stay away from that. It's never fitting for a king to be drunk on wine. It says, hey, if you're out there and you're getting drunk on wine, you're going to forget to serve justice. You're going to forget to do justice to those who depend on you the most. And you don't want to do that. So let's keep going down. Verses 6 says, strong drink is given to the terminally ill, those who are suffering at the brink of death. Wine is for those in depression, in order that they might drown their sorrows. Let them drink and forget their poverty and misery. But you are to be a king who speaks up on the behalf of the disenfranchised and pleads for the legal rights of the defenseless to those who are dying. Be a righteous king, judging on behalf of the poor and interceding for those most in need. So basically, she's just letting him know this is how a king acts. This is how a king rules. This is how a king will conduct himself. He will speak up on behalf of others. He will give justice. He won't be one to get out and be drunk. He won't be running around with promiscuous women. This is not the life for you, King. This is how you should act. This is how you should be living. So that's verses 1 through 9. Those are all from the mother to the son, saying, okay, son, this is how you are to conduct yourself. Then once we get to 10, when you get to 10 down through the rest of Proverbs 31, this is when the mother is addressing the son and saying, okay, this is the kind of woman you want. This is the kind of character of woman that you want. So we're going to go a little bit slower through this part. So we'll do maybe a couple of verses here for today and then pick back up on Monday. Starting at verse 10, it says, who could ever find a wife like this one? She is a woman of strength and mighty valor. She is full of wealth and wisdom. The price paid for her was greater than many jewels. So if you look at verse 10, if you're reading this, the good thing I like about it in the Passion Translation is, like I said, it will give you little footnotes as you go through it so you can read a little bit more in depth. So starting at verse 10 all the way down, this is actually a Hebrew poem. And every sentence or every character is actually in the alphabet, in the Hebrew alphabet. So it starts in those 22 verses that go down. It goes in order of alphabet of the virtues and the characters of a woman. And most people say that it was written in that way under the Hebrew alphabet so that they could memorize it and so that the mothers could teach it to their daughters, or the sons could teach it to their, to the princes under them. They could teach it to their children, and it would be easy for them to learn it because it's in the alphabet, and they would just go down the alphabet. So we're going to stop right there. I'm going to pick up again on Monday, and we're going to start actually going through verse 11 down so we can start breaking apart these characteristics of the woman that you want in your life. This is the godly woman that you want and the different characteristics that she holds. So join me again on Monday. We're going to pick right back up where we left off here and continue our journey through Proverbs 31. Be blessed this weekend. Go to church, get some rest, fellowship with others, and I will see you next week. Be blessed.